No, yeah, it's funny. So Cam, when he brought me, I remember I first met you guys. Everybody like doing, it's like pretty much like this sales, affiliate culture or whatever. And like everybody was so nice, and everybody's like complimenting you, and like everybody's like super engaged. Like, it makes you feel so freaking important. And I'm like, getting around everybody. This is my first time ever, like getting in a network of like, influential people, positive people. My whole life, probably like most people, honestly, my whole life, I felt like, it was like negativity, like dragging me down. Like, people, I didn't fit in. People from my school like talk shit. You try to do something great, and you announce what you want to do, and people like, it's like they don't want you to win. They're like, you can't do that. Like, and they're supposed to be your friends. You're like, what the fuck, dude? And so I never really liked, I never really liked most people, honestly. I just had to fucking learn to get along with them because, school and teams, and you have to. But I remember like I was so unused to like people making me feel important that like I used to go tell my my business partner at the time. I'm like, dude, like, what are all these people like? What are they like, trying to get from us? Like, what are they trying to like take from us? Like what do they want? Like, why do they like this? Like, it must be like like a fucking mask, right? It must be a mask that they're just putting on so they can like take advantage of us. And like he's like, dude, I think they're just like nice people. I'm like, no, but there's like nobody just does that though. And so when I like realized that, I was like, yo, I want other people to like think like that we're just that nice, but I want them to know. I don't want them thinking like, what's the second alternative motive? I want them to know we're just great people because that's our standards. And so ultimately, when I started getting around more great people and I started expanding my network, obviously my net worth went up. Like, not even just like, over time. I'm talking about when I went from like cutting people off to networking like every single week with new people, and I made like an extra $6,000 a week within the first month. I was like, holy shit. So one of the ways I say people are different, like when you normally talk to people, at least where I'm from, and most of the world, when you just by on the street, you talk to somebody, they're on their phone, like, hey, what's up? You're in the elevator, they like, don't fucking say shit. Like, people just kind of like, they act very uninterested. They talk to you because they have to, right? You go to freaking McDonald's, like, what do you fucking want? And I'm like, yo, dude, you all right? Like, and so when you get around higher level people, the reason the frequencies go higher and, ultimately bringing your energy higher and your creativity and your flow is because, like, number one, the first thing they do is they fucking remember your name, right? They fucking address you by your name. Hey, Josh, how's it going, man? How you been? Rather than like, hey, bro. Or they're like, they say your name in sentences. And then on the flip side, when you fucking forget their name, it makes somebody feel so like insignificant. It's a fucking really horrible feeling to have like somebody not remember your name. That also goes into marketing, like make sure you become unforgettable, right? And so that's number one. The second thing is, put the fucking phone away, dude. Like, if you have it in your hand, like, I got this little finger thing, it's kind of cool, put on like this. But like, there's people who like will talk and they're like this and they're like, They're not looking at you, no eye contact. They're not like smiling, they're not nodding their head. Another thing that I did was, because reality is created by validation. So like, validation is what makes people feel important and what makes people feel like whatever they're saying is like relevant. So when you're talking to somebody, like, you should be like, yeah, okay, like that makes sense. Oh, okay. Tell me more about that. You should be, you should be engaging. You should be nodding your head. You should be, saying little things. If you're not, and you're just kind of sitting there and you're looking at them, then ultimately, well, like, they're not gonna continue talking, nor are they gonna feel like their idea was validated and like important. If anything, they'll even become discouraged. One of my business partners tested this out with me one time. I was telling him an idea, and I'm so used to, cause like, I execute on my ideas. So I'm so used to me saying things and everyone's like, right, boom, like, cause it actually makes sense. I know it makes sense, so I wouldn't say it yet. And I'm like talking, and he just goes, no. Like right when I was like, right? And he's like, no. I'm like, wait, huh? I'm like, fuck, like it threw me out of sync. And I'm like, wait, what do you mean no? Like, it doesn't make perfect sense? Like, what? And he's like, oh, I'm just fucking with you. Like, I just wanted to see like, and I'm like, whoa, that's crazy. Like, it was able to throw me off that much. So think about how when he said that, if that did it to me, when people are trying to go out after their dreams, so you have to create this bulletproof mindset first that shouldn't let you affect it at the same time, but don't do it to anybody else. Another thing I would say, man, is like the thing about getting around a higher level people in like a stronger network, you'll notice that what they say usually is what they mean, and more often than not, what they mean is what they say. When you're around lower level frequency people who aren't going after the goals, the type of people who have been, going to the same parties with the same friends, smoking the same blunts, the same bongs, you'll notice they'll say a lot of shit that like doesn't carry much weight. Gonna do that next week. I'm gonna go to the gym next week, and like you ain't never seen them at the gym. So you have to mean what you say. So when you're speaking to people, I'll be there at 10, be there at 10. Hey, I'm gonna be at the gym next week, better be at the gym next week. You have to also know your weaknesses, right? Things that you need to work on, and like hold yourself accountable to fix them and get better at them and improve at them, rather than just like keep using like the same excuse. Like most people just go like, oh man, like my phone's dead, or you gotta mean what you say, man. It gets to the point where you say something that somebody shouldn't even have to follow up with you to know if you're gonna do it. Like, hey dude, I'll meet you on next Friday here at 5 o'clock. It's a week away from now. And like, we don't have to text the guy to know he's gonna be here at 5 o'clock. That's the type of shit that will fucking like really build relationships. When you hang out around high level people, if you say you're gonna be here at this time and you're not, like, and you show up late, he's not gonna be waiting there for you still. He's gonna leave. Like, you're gonna lose a job, you're fired. You fucking wanna be business partners? You're not gonna be business partners no more. And so like, you start, after enough times of that happening, you're like, fuck dude, like, I lost like fucking 3 deals this week. Like, I better get on my shit. And then like, that's when you kind of, sink in. Don't let it get that far. Just fucking honor your word from the start. But again, if your friends aren't fucking holding you that accountable, and like, they'll wait outside for you for fucking 10 hours, or they'll fucking like, you'll bail on a fucking trip or bail on something like over and over and over and over, and they still keep giving you chances, well, you have low level friends. They're cutting you slack, bro. I don't know about you, but I'm on it with my fucking friends. I'm on it with my homies. I make sure that everybody fucking keeps it, up here. Gotta get around Team Jets, that type of people, man. You know what I'm saying?